I have no idea what's going on. Those are so many sounds. Oh my gosh, someone should not have let me find sounds. Here's my favorite one so far. Why is that so low? Was that low on your end, or is it just my microphone?
I think it's just your
I mean
recording
speakers, I mean.
thing.
Oh my gosh. I have the worst speakers in history connected to this. I don't know. I can hear you great. Everybody, welcome to Age of Radio Mercury, your home for podcasting and pop culture news. I'm excited to be here. My name is Jeremy Quintanilla. I'm the co-founder of Age of Radio and the host of Mercury and also the host of Age of Jeremy. But I have my trusty co-host over here, Trey. Trey, how is your Friday afternoon going?
That's gonna distract me every time. Uh,
Okay, I'll stop. Go, Trey.
um, the heads up. I don't know. You might want to put some. I don't know if it's your headphones or something. I'm catching a very quiet echo on my end from when
Oh,
I
you're
talk.
catching an echo. Did you watch
All
the
right.
New Wealth Transfer? Did you watch the New Wealth Transfer podcast today?
I did not.
Oh my gosh, the echo situation. Is the echo better now?
It's only when I talk for some reason. I don't think I've got anything else open. I thought it might have been the headphones or something. I don't
Okay,
catch it now.
it's not when I'm talking.
No.
Let me do something. It's probably this stupid piece of crap here. Let me just. I'm gonna try something. Step screen share.
Oh yeah, they
Remember
always
how
do
when we
that when
used
you're.
to do it non. Remember when we had to do this where I had to switch through the tabs and then I was gonna try it this way? Is it echoey now?
Um, I
Echoey
I don't hear any echo now. Nope,
at all, correct?
not at all. No.
All right, I'm gonna try something else. Trey, just hold on with me because this was I don't know what's going on, but StreamYard's been weird today, even on the New Wealth Transfer podcast. Okay, is there echo now?
Testing 1 2.
Testing
Nope, it
one two.
sounds fine.
Okay, cool. Well, let's keep going with this and see what happens. It might I don't know what was happening, but Trey, how's your Friday been? How's life?
My Friday's been pretty good actually. I went and got some on the hook, which is a place that you might have to try if you haven't yet. When you come here, I don't know if they come to Arizona or not, but
What is
they
it
have
called?
some really good fish on the hook. It's a food truck.
I've never heard of it. I'm excited for when we take the show to Montana this winter, which is the stupidest time for me to go to Montana. I guess it would be is November fall or winter there, Trey?
It's usually winter, depending on when you actually go. Sometimes it's a little bit of both. Honestly, we have
Yep.
years when we get crap ton of snow, and then we have years that we have none.
Fantastic. That is awesome, Trey. Hopefully you're not going to get any snow when I take my talents out to Montana this fall or winter, whatever season that specifically is. Trey, how has your content creation been going? Have you made anything on your? Well, you made Script Tate. It's out on Google Play.
It is so. It's still on closed beta, so I still need to find about 12 people to talk to because they have to be in the beta and using the app or not have the app on their phone for at least 12 or 14 days rather. But I will say Android is one of the Google Play console in particular is one of the most frustrating developer experience I've ever had.
My gosh, he's hitting stuff. Hold on. This is for you, Trey. This is what Trey thinks of Google. He's giving it a little slap. This is a family show, so we can't say what kind of slap it is. But Trey's slapping Google around. Anyway, why? So I've built off of. So when you're talking about when you're developing it on Android, like on the developer kit, or are you talking about like the way that I guess elaborate for me.
It's just they do things in a way that I found kind of irritating. Um, have to have before you can even do anything. Like again, I can't have my app up unless 12 people test it for at least for 2 weeks. So, and then I
So
spent
then I need
quite
to
a
go and
while.
test it then, Trey, since I'm one of those people. Here, let me go.
um,
How do I just, okay, I'll download it and then I'll use it and I'll test it.
you're good. If yeah, I'm hoping. Hopefully, I'll find more people because you got to have at least 12. And then there was just stuff like I was trying to figure out how. For some reason, it was giving me a whole bunch of errors. It was not as good, I'll just say, and I'm biased, but it was not nearly as good as App Store Connect, in my opinion.
Absolutely. Because you are biased. And I am indifferent to it because I'm sure both of it would be difficult for me. How is your Substack going?
I haven't been doing much content recently. Haven't really been feeling the itch to do it. I will say that I have figured out a workflow that allows me to get more people for Maker's Remarks going. So I'm not doing any outreach yet, but I'm actually getting a list together.
Nice. I am thinking about starting to do that as well for Age of Jeremy conversations and putting a workflow together. My concern is why I haven't been going hard on it is whatever that thing is that keeps happening during my computer and everything glitches and it stops. And I think, Trey, I actually found what is causing that problem. My M audio hub needed the drivers needed to be repaired on it because that's the thing that's clicking over the drivers, and when it disconnects the driver it throws the computer into confusion because of all of the freaking ports and connections that I have on the computer, and I think that that's why it is.
I Yeah, that could definitely be
Well, you
it.
don't think
I
so, Trey?
hopefully uh I don't know, man. It could be just I always thought it was just Windows, but it could be that.
Well, it could be Windows in relationship to that. It could be a combined. It could be a combined problem area. Uh, I don't. Joey says, "Why is Jeremy low?" Oh, I turned my gain down a little bit. Joey, is that better? Because I didn't know if I was if my volume or my gain was causing. We've had some interesting issues for the last 4 hours with anything that's using a Zoom L8. And so I'm not sure if it's the Zoom L8 that's causing some of the problems. If it's users, it's probably a user situation. But we had some problems with the New Wealth Transfer podcast as well, and then we eventually got it fixed. So I don't know what I don't know. I'm just gonna say I don't know. I don't know. But I love Zoom, so I'm gonna keep doing that. But I was thinking about testing mine out for Riverside also because I'm not a huge fan. I mean, we're using StreamYard right now, and StreamYard's super easy. But if I'm having some podcast guests come on and I just want to have a real conversation that's an on-demand video with them, or even if I just want to use it as audio, like when I have an idea to start doing more podcasting content for Mercury, which we could find a better time for Jinx to be on, Joey to be on, everybody to be on that's apart from this live show. I was thinking about doing that with Riverside FM or Riverside, whatever they're calling it now. But uh, other than that, for myself, I have Age of Jeremy going on. We have Markets Radar, which is a Tuesday and Saturday show. If you guys want to check that out and follow that, and we are really getting into the event space, and we have a lot of exciting things in regards to that. The first thing is we're going to be at Tucson Comic Con September 4th, 5th, and 6th, and this is the first time that we've been asked to be there as a media. So we got invited there to be media for this specific show. We're not going to have our booth, but we're going to have our a run in gun setup where we get to spin Dustin. So I'm really excited about spinning Dustin because that's the best thing in the world is you just spin Dustin as fast as you can during our vendor walkthrough. And wherever Dustin lands, that's what you look at. And that's what we go and interview. And I'm really excited about that. And also, too, we get to put in to interview some of these people. So I'm going to put in to interview Jim Starlin and William Shatner. Obviously, William Shatner's from Star Trek fame. I'll be 100% honest. I don't know anything else that William Shatner has done except for Star Trek, but he's done a hell of a job being in the media since whenever the hell Star Trek, the very first iteration of Star Trek came onto the screen, which I want to say was in the 60s, I would say 70s, somewhere around, I think 60s. And Jim Starlin is actually the creator of Thanos. And so I would love to talk to him because Thanos is one of my favorite characters in the Marvel. and we're going to be here. We're going to have, there's an opportunity for photo ops. So if you guys are in the Arizona or Tucson region, I guess, come and hang out with us September 4th, 5th, and 6th. We are going to be at Tucson Comic Con, Pop Culture for All. It's the 17th annual one. We also know the owner, Brian Polito. We're trying to get an interview with Brian, and also our good friend, Danny Marianino. Hold on, let me see if he's up here yet. I think Danny's going to be here talking about his brand new book as well. There's Brian. Maybe something happened with Danny. I thought he was up here. Trey, do you remember when I interviewed Danny Marianino for his Night of the Gabagool book at the Phoenix Zoo when we had that fun little show because Dustin forgot his laptop? And you know, getting his laptop deserves one of these bad boys down here, little. Anyway, but do you remember that, Trey, when we did that and I got to play with that lizard or whatever? That was fun.
I do remember that.
Yeah, there's also another person that I thought was here that I got to talk to when I was at the. I think he's just maybe not on. I don't know. But come to Tucson Comic Con, and the next thing I'm even more excited about than Tucson Comic Con. But wait, you're gonna be at Comics and Cocktails during Tucson Comic Con, Joey, because I have a room for you in Tucson during this event. So that's that. And I want to go to Comics and Cocktails. All right, this is what I'm even more excited about. Look at this up here. BOOOOCon, powered by Age of Freaking Radio, without freaking Linus's stupid head up there. Jared is the founder, or one of the founders and owners of BOOOOCon. We are the title sponsor for BOOOOCon. I'm really excited about that. We're going to have a great booth. I'm going to be there. Who's coming? Me. And Trey's going to be there. So you guys can come and check us out at BOOOOCon. We're going to have a heck of a time. We're going to have so many people here. This is October 4th, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. So a month after we're doing Tucson Comic Con, we're going to be doing BOOOOCon, and BOOOOCon is powered by Age of Radio. We're going to have Jared on the show. We're going to try to have vendors and collectors on the show leading up to the show. We might even do like 2 or 3 Mercuries a week leading to it. I don't know, because I haven't gotten response. Well, I shouldn't say I haven't gotten a response from Jared. I haven't emailed Jared to follow up with him on getting him on the show. But we are excited to be a part of BOOOOCon. We're going to have a heck of a time. We're also the sponsor for the music stage. We're also the sponsor for the Artist Alley, because again, we're all about uplifting content creators. Okay, that's all the main stuff that we have going on. We'll get back to some of the other cool stuff that we have going on, but you're here for some news. And we're going to start off with this news because Spotify, you know what we do when we hear Spotify?
Boo.
Yeah, I know, but where's the boo?
There it went.
Spotify, you're doing a horrible job. All right, Spotify releases its latest earnings report, but they won't be promoting that in a significant threat to podcasting. Pod News can reveal today, August 4th, so a couple of days ago, that Spotify is testing an ad skipping tool for podcast, a skip ahead button that appears in podcast ads and sponsorship messages. Spotify's new ad blocker is even blocking ads that Spotify has sold, leading some to wonder whether this is a fraudulent behavior by the company. Ads are still delivered to the user's device, but a button appears to encourage listeners to skip them. Spotify, as you know, is a major podcast app delivering the majority of all podcast downloads in many countries. However, not only does its skip ahead feature push listeners to bypass ads, it even encourages listeners to skip creators talking about their Patreon style premium subscriptions, which makes sense because of the way that you can, inside of Spotify for podcasting, the way in which you can put sponsorships in, you can tell it when it's there so you can count. So if it knows when it's there, it can probably create the ability to then skip through that. So what do you think, Trey? Should this be on the podcasting police? I don't know what kind of show we're turning into here, Trey, but sounds are fun. And Spotify sucks. All right, Trey, what are your thoughts?
Okay, so I think that people are. I don't know. So I'm in two minds about this. One, it would be great if people would get more ad reach because of their podcast. It's a way to make money, all of that fun stuff. Users are already doing this, and that's just the unfortunate truth of the matter. They're just making something that users already do a lot easier, and I think that a lot of users are going to be very happy with them for that. It is not. I bet you it's going to be a Spotify premium feature. That would be my guess. So they still make their money from it.
Trey, if you pay for Spotify Premium, doesn't it already stop the ads, or is it like Netflix, where I think Maria, she pays for her Netflix, Visa, her T-Mobile, and we still have to watch 2 ads, or how you pay for Amazon Prime and you still get ads, but then you have to pay again to get rid of the ads.
So I think that Spotify removes Spotify delivered ads. Not everybody uses Spotify delivered ads though. Like there's Acast and all of that other stuff. So I think that this is a thing that's going to do that as well.
Yeah. My thing is that obviously I'm biased because we have a podcast network that focuses on advertising sales, right? However, when we have our Age of Radio app and we do our own podcasting, obviously the two revenue models, until new revenue models show up, one of them is specifically you can have the thing for free. You just have to listen to ads, right? Because the ads then fund the project and the profitability and the people and everything, right? And then there is the fact that you could pay for a subscription, and then if you pay for the subscription, then you don't have to listen to the ads, or it's some mechanism between the two of them, depending on how everything is served up. But I think that the problem arises is that especially with a company like Spotify, I don't know how bloated the company is in regards to like how many people it has in it. But if you can keep your people really lean, you can make a lot of profitability, because the number one expense for companies is people. If you can keep your people lean, you can make a really good amount of profit by having just a subscription and a regular ad, unless you need new capital expenditures to come in either through other investment or increasing the profit so that you have the cash to do other projects with. But my problem with it is that it just seems like it seems like they're trying. Spotify never seems to know what it's trying to accomplish. That's the way that it feels like to me, right? It's like, okay, we're going to go into the podcasting game. Oh, well, we can't make money in the podcasting game. Well, let's lower our CPM costs for our advertising so we can get more ads. But then they're getting more ads, and then they're serving up more ads, and they're like, well, now people are upset, so let's go ahead and give the people the ability to skip those ads. So let's go ahead and then get maybe up the premium or the subscription, because I don't know what they're going to do for that regard. So I just feel like and then there's also the problem with Spotify trying to be at YouTube now. When I go on Spotify, it just looks I'm looking at YouTube without the ability to search and learn stuff.
Yeah, I think that they definitely do have a little bit. They're probably a little bit too big for their own good, honestly. I just think and this is the thing of you can't. So if it's an ad delivered by Spotify, you can't skip those. Even like if you're paying their premium, you don't get them. But if it's an ad delivered by Spotify, you can't skip those. So what they're really doing, unfortunately, is ensuring that people aren't as upset with theirs by reducing the amount that other people have of making money with theirs, which is kind of scummy, honestly.
It is super scummy. And that's why we have this to go
The
along.
BOOOO.
Anytime we say podcasting, when we say podcasting, it's this. When it's Spotify, it's that, and one of these. Trey, you know what I need? We need to find it. We need to find a way to re-record this and then make it go like it's a double tap one. Like I'm really smacking them. Like I don't know. That's what it needs to do. That's what I think that we need to do. All right, heading over to Acast. I'm excited about this. I'd also be excited if Spotify Opened this up as well on Megaphone and Spotify for podcasters. Acast opens Apple Podcast video to all creators after beta shows 52% usage lift. Of course, I don't even know why they had to test that. The whole industry is going to video, and you have the ability to serve up from your distribution platform to Apple Video. You would think that that would be a no-brainer. I understand from a large company's perspective, they have to test stuff and make sure that it makes sense. But Acast is expanding video publishing on Apple Podcasts to all creators on its platform. After an early test found shows adding video experienced a roughly 25% increase in weekly sessions during their first 4 months. The company says it is ending the invite-only beta test that has limited access to select a group of creators. Beginning immediately, any creator using Acast can publish video versions of their podcast to Apple Podcasts. Creators outside Acast Creator Network can access the feature through a new video subscription plan, while eligible publishers can also make their video inventory available to advertisers through Acast Marketplace. The rollout follows several months of beta testing, during which Acast says participating shows average a 25% increase in weekly Apple Podcast sessions, including both listens and views. And this is a quote from Senior VP of Business Development and Strategic Partnership. What grew there wasn't influence itself. The show, the host, and the relationship were unchanged, says Valerie Reimer. What grew was the number of ways the influencer could travel. One podcast now watched as well as heard on the same platform where people were already listening. So this is a win for podcasting and a win for podcasting now actually being videos. Almost as soon as this can now shoot everywhere, and I heard or I read it's either a cast or one of the other ones that are doing this, you can now serve up to Spotify from a non-Spotify platform for Spotify video. It'll shoot out to, I think, Apple, Spotify, and there was one other video source place. So what do you make of this, Trey?
I think this is fantastic. I think that this is really interesting. It's interesting because they are, I don't know how they've been testing for multiple months when this only came out at the beginning of June.
Well, my guess is that they started testing previously by invite only.
Oh, that's definitely a possibility.
They didn't make an announcement. That's what I'm thinking probably happened, but I don't know.
You're probably right. I would wager that is probably quite likely what happened. I'm also excited though, because this hasn't been the wave yet. Mm-hmm. Most people on Apple Podcasts are still stuck on audio. As soon as the new iPhones come out and the new operating system comes out for everybody who is not crazy like the two of us and does the beta, as soon as that happens, the video thing is going to spike like a rocket.
Yeah. Speaking of which, Trey, I know that we have some podcasting that we're going to be doing vis-a-vis X Spaces here in the future, and then working some other shows. What do you make of what Apple's going to announce at the Apple event in September? What's that event called? Is it called the Apple event? I'm just calling it
event. People usually just call it the September Apple event or the iPhone event. I'm a little bit nervous, actually. I know a lot of people really like some of the technology, but it is so easy. Like, especially back when it came out, like I've heard horror stories about these types of phones. So I will be curious to see what they do.
To a foldable?
Yes, I am.
Yeah. I don't know. Apple does hardware really, really well. That's the one thing that I say that they win in almost all aspects. Their design, the durability of their hardware, from what I've heard from people. And so I feel that Apple, because they're not the first mover in the space, I mean, we're on the 8th generation of the Fold, right? So that means if Samsung releases one every year, that's 8 years that the Fold has been out. right? And so I don't know if it's been 8 years. That's a really long time. 8 years that the fold's been out. I feel like that has given Apple enough time to figure out exactly what they need to do to make sure that theirs is better. But at this event, are they also going to announce their home product line, or is this only for I'm confused about that, because when I was reading about what their movement is into the home line, is that stuff that they're going to announce at the September event also?
So they could, but if it's enough products for them to do, so sometimes they will just do website refreshes. They won't even do like a show. But if it's enough that they want to do a show, they might put it in the iPhone, but they usually will do like a secondary event in the late October, early November stage, and that will be a completely separate thing.
Okay, so the one that's in September is probably the announcement of the iPhone Fold, or
Yes.
whatever the hell they're going to call it, right? And then we'll probably get the other stuff coming out later in the rest of the year. The only thing that I'm excited for, I don't know if I'm the only person that's excited for this. The only thing that I want, and I keep talking about it on this show, is I want the AI necklace for some reason. And I want it to talk to me, or to talk to me in some capacity. I want to be able to drive down the road and get a thought in my head and not go to AI and ask it while I'm driving for fear that I'm going to kill everyone on the road because I'm on my phone, which it shouldn't be. And I want to just be able to say, hey, Siri AI, whatever. Can you talk to me about, like, I don't know, the French Revolution and Napoleon? And then it be like, okay, yeah. And then my phone starts talking to me about that while I'm driving down the road. That's what I want to have happen. And I don't want to have shit in my ears. I don't want to have eyeglasses on. I just want to be able to talk in open space and something happen. Is that too much to ask, Trey?
So, first off, you really should try ChatGPT voice.
But I still have to use my phone.
Yeah, but you just put your phone on your dashboard and do your stuff. It can even work while you're on maps.
Yeah, that's true. And you can do that with Claude too, I think. I guess that's true. I guess that's true. That's true.
I also have a prediction time.
Oh, you have a prediction time? Hold on, I'm late. I got a weird text message. Hold on 1 second. I gotta go to prediction time. I don't like this. Hold on. I'm almost there. I'm almost to it. Hold on. It's right here. I did it.
Yay.
It's almost like we need like a video to play, and then just push the button and the video plays, and it could be like prediction time, and then it could be like, I don't know, one of us doing something like this, and then it comes down. I don't know. Okay, hold on. Let's do it one more time. Okay, what's the prediction, Trey?
Okay, so you'll have to bear with me a little bit here. The original iPhone was announced in 2007 on April 18th, if I remember correctly. I could be wrong on my dates. Apple 20th anniversary for their phones is going to be this April. I think so. There's not going to be any normal iPhone 18. It's just going to be the 18 Pros and the Fold.
What do I have? 17? I have iPhone.
You have the 17
right?
Pro.
Great. Yep. Cosmic orange, great color. Citrus, looking forward to citrus. Go on, Trey.
Yeah. So I predict that on April 2027, Apple will release the iPhone 20. They will not go
over the 18 and 19.
Yes.
And that's kind of a good prediction. But what's it going to be?
Oh, I don't know. That's going to be the fun part. I have no idea on that one. But they always do. Like, remember the iPhone 8 to the iPhone 10? Oh, I'm so excited. But I do predict
they
that.
didn't do a 9. They didn't do a 9?
They did not.
See, I don't follow because I don't. I'll buy more Apple stuff, Trey. I bought some more Amaran light stuff. I love lights. Lights are good. Actually, that's a good prediction. I think you might be right on that. Trey, are you writing it down for our prediction stuff that we need to go through? Prediction time. Prediction time.
I'm not going to write it down right now, but I am going to write it down later. And I also remember from last week that you said that the audio model for podcasting is going to go to watch time like YouTube. That was a prediction you made last week.
Yeah, I do a good job making predictions and then forgetting about them. Also, all of the anime that I need to watch and video games that I need to play. All right, speaking of video games, well, real quick, Good. I don't know why that went so far into the thing. Good job, Acast. Good job doing this. I'm excited about that. And for everybody who's on the Age of Radio Podcast Network and listens to Age of Radio shows, some of them do video. Most of us are old timers in the radio podcasting space, so we do a lot of audio. But video is going to continue to be important. And all the videos that we have, like Mercury, we're going to be working to get those on Apple. What I'm hoping for is that Megaphone and our arch nemesis, Spotify, will get their shit together. Excuse my language. We'll get their lives together, and they will get the what is it? HLS? HSL. HSL. Yep. They'll get the HSL set up so that then you could put on Megaphone or Spotify for podcasters and push it to Apple. But I don't know if to be honest, I don't know if they'll do that. But I think that they should, and I think it would be a really good move because it would be in alignment with their move to, Joe Rogan used to be specific to Spodcast or Spotify. And then they got their stuff together and they realized that that's ridiculous. And now you can listen to Joe Rogan everywhere, if I'm not mistaken. All right, moving over to video games. We have a world premiere trailer of a trailer coming August 27th. Is that right? Is that what this is, Trey?
That is not a trailer of a trailer.
Is this a trailer of a trailer?
If it's a video, I guess it is. I didn't realize I had a video.
I'm so confused. That's what I was confused about. So I'm not going to tell. So Grand Theft Auto 6 is going to do an extended look coming August 27th. So what the hell is this trailer? All right, everybody, here we go.
Let's play it.
All right, hold on. I think the sound's on. I think the sound's on this. Hopefully it is. I don't know if it is. Hold on. Because I shared it a different way. Hold on. Okay. Let's see what this is. Oh my god, that is exactly what it is. This is a freaking trailer for an extended look trailer on Netflix for August 27th. This is the stupidest thing ever. This is what Netflix gets. The Mercury police are after you. That is so stupid, Netflix. Oh my gosh. All right, well, if you couldn't guess it by the trailer for the trailer, Grand Theft Auto 6 is getting an extended look on Netflix August 27th. Rockstar Games has announced today that it will be sharing an extended look at Grand Theft Auto 6 on Netflix on August 26th by putting out a trailer for it on their YouTube channel. A press release for the announcement, and this is the trailer in case you guys missed, is 27 seconds of them saying that an extended look on.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
Really is.
On Netflix Thursday, August 27th, 3 p.m. Eastern, and will also launch on the official Rockstar Games YouTube channel and the Grand Theft Auto 6 site at 9 p.m. Eastern. My prediction, I have two predictions for this. You ready?
Yep.
All right, first prediction is that this is going to be the most sold video game of all time out the gate.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
By
Absolutely.
Far, this is going to blow freaking numbers out of the water. It's going to be ridiculous. It's crazy. And this is my second prediction. My second prediction is Netflix is going to go heavier into the gaming space in some capacity. I haven't quite figured out the capacity, but I feel like it's going to be in some kind of weird capacity where you can play full games on. Remember how the stupid Xbox is every fucking thing on the planet campaign? I feel like it's going to be like Xbox everywhere, but inside of Netflix and kind of like how Amazon had their Loom, the whatever the hell they had, where there's that video game, and Google had Stadia or whatever for a while. My guess is that Netflix is going to go harder into the game space with full games, because I know they have like family style games on there now, right? If I'm not mistaken. But I think that that's going to happen over the next couple of years. Those are my two predictions. Trey, write them down.
Yes, sir. Do you think that Netflix has paid Grand Theft Auto for this? Because I think like that's kind of a crazy idea. I don't know
That's a
how
good
else it
point,
would be.
because I don't think Rockstar needed to talk about to do this. I bet you money it is Netflix that's doing it.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
would
because
be my guess.
I don't see a world where Rockstar Games has to go and go to Netflix and be like, "Hey, we have this idea of extended look. We want to get it out in front of as more people as possible." Well, I mean, possibly, but I can't imagine, unless, I mean, maybe, because they can get the. I mean, I would imagine Gen Z also knows about Grand Theft Auto. So my
Oh,
guess would be, would they need to really be doing it for an advertising perspective, where Rockstar would go to Netflix?
definitely. So, and that's the entire thing of it. If they were doing it like as another channel, sure. This is exclusive. Like if they wanted to just do a cool look and get more people, they do it on their YouTube. It is across the internet, clipped, chopped up, sent out everywhere within like 5 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point. We should clip it out. When's that come? August 27th? When do we do a show that week? I'm pretty sure we do. We do shows every week. So we do a show the following day. So we're gonna say it's our world premiere during that specific time frame. We make everything up. All right, guys, before we get into some other news, Trey, what do we have going on in the Age of Radio community, sir?
All right. So, as we were talking about just a little bit ago, we have our show that is coming on X Spaces, where we're going to talk about the Amazing Spider-Man Brand New Day. I think it's Brand New Day. We're
Trey,
going to
have you
talk
seen it?
about. I have not. I'm going to watch it next weekend.
I think I want to see it tonight, but I don't know if Maria's going to want to see it tonight. But I'm going to text her right now and see if she wants to see it tonight. But continue your conversation.
Fair enough. And we're also going to talk about the new Samsung phones because the Apple stuff will come next month. And I can't remember what else it was, but we're going to talk about a few different topics. We're going to do these once a month, but next Monday at are we doing them at 3:30? I can't remember if we decided to do the Discord events at the same time.
No, I think that we should still do those a little bit later. 3:30 seems early for people on
Okay.
the West Coast. We'll talk about that one off, but we're doing that next week.
Yep, next week I'll schedule it for 5:30 Arizona time again.
That should be good. Or 5. We'll talk about it. I don't know.
Yes, sir. And we're going to talk about all sorts of fun stuff, like what anime we've been watching and what's coming out, because it's getting close to the fall release schedule. Other than that, I don't have a lot of event
my anime
stuff.
watching is horrible. What have you been watching?
Honestly, I haven't been watching a lot. I've been.
We are the worst anime fans of all time. Remember when we were watching Bleach all the time? We were watching so much anime. It takes so much time.
Yeah. Actually, it's funny because what I've been watching is reactions. I've been watching somebody react to Full Metal Alchemist. That's
You've been watching it what's the word, vicariously through somebody else or whatever that is.
Yeah.
Where you're watching anime but through someone else, essentially. I mean, that's kind of how I do it with you. Yeah. All right. Well, the other things that are going on, if you guys don't know, that Geek Collective is part of Age of Radio's universe. Geek Collective is an art studio. They have Geek Collective podcast, advertising, marketing, and publishing. Geek Collective also has its own comic book, I Need Your Skin. So go check that out, where Nora, who wants to stay beautiful forever, she's willing to pay the price. She makes a deal with another woman essentially, and she has to give up a pound of her flesh, and that takes us down into the I Need Your Skin universe. Joey and Geek Collective have so many things in store for this, but if you head on over to the link tree, you can actually get a copy of I Need Your Skin. You can purchase them directly. There's multiple different covers, and we're also doing the Kickstarter for the second issue of I Need Your Skin. So I'm excited for that. And then Joey's also doing some dirty stuff for these people here. The contract number one, mature mystery thriller. Every time I'm scrolling through my Instagram, I see this woman and her boobs pop up all the time. And I'm like, oh my gosh, Joey, calm down, sir. And then there's Backlash number 1 and 2. Again, these aren't from Divination Comics or Geek Collective, but these are publishing related. And you can get all of these through Kickstarter. So head on over to linktr.ee/geek collective, and you can get a load of all of this as well. But we're really excited for the future of I Need Your Skin, and we would love for you to take part in our next Kickstarter. It's launching soon, so notify me on launch. And we has a little teaser here as well. Book 2 synopsis is overwhelmed by a sudden urge of ecstasy. Nora dominates and ravages her husband Rick, pulling him into the wild, hedonistic night. By morning, an eerie calm settles as Nora wakes to an empty house, haunted by intrusive visions. She struggles to piece together what happened the night before. The lines blur between fascination and terror when she discovers Rick's whereabouts. So go help us get this across the finish line. We're also working to get this in comic book stores here in Arizona. At least I Need Your Skin Volume 1. And then when 2's done and out, we will work on that as well. So we would love for your support from that. And then again, also to BOOOOCon, as I mentioned earlier, powered by Age Radio, October 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. Go get your tickets. Hang out with us. We'll be giving away stuff. We're working on putting a great show together for you at BOOOOCon like we did last year as well. We love events, and we have so much more in store for events coming soon. Perfect. Well, that was fun. That was fun. Let's get into some other news over here. Let's talk a little bit about 13% now consume podcasts most on the freaking television, which means it's not an audio podcast, but I guess that definition is changing, and I guess that's okay. 13% of US weekly podcast consumers say they consume podcasts most often on the television. Edison Podcast Metrics reported that it's the highest figure yet and reflects the growing number of podcasts making it to YouTube. And if a lot of you don't know, Netflix also now has a podcast feed on Netflix for podcasts that they're bringing over. Trey, do you see it in any future where Netflix actually allows you to upload videos if you're just a like any creator video like YouTube does? Do you think that Netflix is going that route?
I don't think so. I think part of the thing is just the collection aspect of it. I think they would need something because these streaming companies already operate at a loss, right? So I
Yeah.
don't think that would be something where they would be very excited to do something like that.
Well, also on Tubi, people can watch as well. And now it does beg the question: what is Apple Podcasts doing about Roku and Android TV, which dominates the connected TV world? Apple Podcasts on an Apple TV will get access to video podcasting in the next few months, which I wasn't aware of that as well. So it looks like Apple TV, those video podcasts are going to start feeding out to Apple TV as well.
Yeah,
Did you know
I
that, Trey?
think
Did you hear that? I think that makes
I
sense. I mean, that's a logical move.
Yeah, I think it makes sense. I think that this is going to be a thing of, I think that people who aren't on Apple devices are going to be using something like YouTube more than they do Apple. I think the Apple podcasting are just going to be people who are specifically Apple thing. It's also interesting because I've actually been watching more podcasts recently too. I've been watching the financial audit show. I don't think you've ever seen that one yet, but my grandma and I love watching it together.
What is that show about?
uh this guy Caleb Hammer goes and he walks people through their finances, kind of tells them where they're messing up. uh
Hmm.
there's all sorts of stuff. It does make me think, though. I think that maybe we should, at Age of Radio, at some point, have a gamer subs flavor.
A gamer what flavor?
Gamer subs.
The heck is
It's
that?
It's a company that sells energy powders and non-energy powders. You put it in water. I'm not going to say a flavor because, again, we don't have one yet. I've got it in here. It's literally like 1 calorie, and it's got some caffeine and some L-theanine and L-bromelain and stuff like that. It's really good. You wouldn't expect it from a gamer brand, but
what's the name?
Gamer Sups. Gamer SUPPS.
Gamer Sup.
Yep.
Oh, like supplement, like a gamer supplement. I get it. Gamer Sups. We should have. Yes, let's 100% do it. All 7 of these people. You guys listening to me out there? Actually, some of our shows have been getting pretty good views afterwards. I'm really excited about the growth of what. Trey, there's a half-naked woman on here. What the hell's wrong with you?
I did not tell you to go to the website.
Look at that. Who's this lady?
I did not tell you to go to the website. I do not know. There's and that's the whole thing. They work with a lot of creators.
What it should be. It should be Mercury Blowhole Blast. This is Plowed and Proud, Trey. Mercury.
I say again.
Plowed and Proud. Oh no, we should definitely hook up with them and see what we can do. I'll even pay them to make. Oh my gosh, Trey, we could make a Mercury and Bob's your uncle. Or Mercury. I'm hanging on like a barnacle on a rock.
Barnacle on a rock.
Oh my gosh, Trey, and I have something. I'm working on something fun from Google Flow Music. It's gonna be a blast. But this is all naked women.
There's a lot of the one I
were you just gonna say
I don't go for. I don't go for any of that stuff. I usually go for the one I go for is another creator that's a lot more tasteful. So
it's not Blowhole Blast.
It is not Blowhole Blast.
I think that should be. In fact, Trey, I'm going to send you some of this Blowhole Blast. All right, the EU is never mind. The EU Artificial Intelligence Act becomes law, which is relevant if your content is consumed in the EU, like all podcasts are. Article 50 requires clear disclosure if you use AI to generate or manipulate audio or video content. In an article, production expert clarifies that manipulation doesn't mean denoising or repairing audio or using AI editing tools, but it does mean that clear disclosure is required if you're generating whole phrases that a voice never actually recorded. Anything made before today does not need retroactive labeling. Fines can reach a maximum of around $40 million. Who's going to police that?
Yeah, that's my entire point on it. Nobody is going to police that. They're building.
The EU's not going to pay to police that. They can't even pay for their policemen to have guns. They're not going to police that. That was just an EU. That was a British joke. That wasn't an EU joke. I messed up, and they're not even part of it anymore. The whole joke was ruined. Anyway, go ahead, Trey.
No, so yes, this is going to be really hard to do. There are most technologies using Google's metadata thing, but not everybody's going to stick to that. It's going to be really hard to police. I think, in my personal opinion, government oversight and technology should never mix. I really don't like a lot of the stuff the EU has been trying to do. That's why I wholeheartedly support, and I don't want to get into I apologize if I'm getting too far into politics. Please stop me. I'm not trying to do that. I really support us not sending a lot of our services over to the EU because of the way that they're treating our technology companies.
Yeah. Where do you stand on? Well, no, I'm not going to get into politics. We'll take politics aside. I do have one question though, Trey. Where do you stand though on them making it where 16 like they have the age limit for social media usage?
Right. I think we've talked about this a little bit. I think that it's much better done by parents because there's all sorts of ways to get around it. Some parents do suck, and unfortunately, there's nothing we can do about that.
Because I really feel that one of the things that's going to happen is eventually Meta is going to make it where you can't. Oh, hold on, let me hit the prediction time button. Hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on. I really think that my prediction is this. Write this down, Trey. My prediction is my prediction is I don't know why I put the box in there. My prediction is that my prediction is that my prediction is that Meta is gonna this is gonna happen in the United States apart from the government. I feel that in the future, because Meta is gonna have has so much slack going around it, that they're just gonna make the assessment to block anybody that's 16 or years from or under from having access to Meta platforms.
That's almost impossible to do. Like that's just really, really hard to do.
Well, I think that people are going to find a way around it, but I'm saying that they're going to make the at least statement that they're not going to allow it, right? Because I mean, it's the same thing for pornography. Like what because like with pornography, you had it where you had to be 18 years old. And the pornography companies, they were like, "Okay, well, are you 18?" And they said, "Yes." And you just go after there and put on yes or put in your birth date. And now they mandated it where you have to put in a driver's license. My guess is it's going to be something like that.
I I don't know. That's definitely something that's a possibility. I would much prefer that parents and stuff like that.
Police your
I don't know.
children, parents. That is the solution. The police. And maybe one of these. Oh my gosh, that one was really loud. Did you hear that?
I did.
I don't know what happened. I clicked the button like 40 times. The morning of August 4th, 2026, Fire Emblem's Fortune Weave Nintendo Direct featured a 20-minute gameplay deep dive into the upcoming strategy RPG. I'm so excited. I don't even have any of my consoles hooked up, but I'm so excited to play for games that I'm never going to play. The presentation broke down classes and non-combat activities and revealed the game's true structure. As previously detailed, Fortune Weave enters on 4 playable protagonists who enter the heroic games, a gladiator-style arena between playing each one at any time, with progress for each one saved, allowing you to experience each character's narrative in parallel. This plays into the game's main thing of multiple of fortunes intertwining. However, the twist is that this era is actually set in the past. Fortune Weave's true plot is set 5 years in the future, where the world has been destroyed by the returning demon god Balor. The progenitor god Sothis has summoned the one soul capable of stopping him, a nameless hero clad in white, white, who is racist. I'm just kidding, just joking. Who is the game's true protagonist? To avoid facing Balor alone, this hero travels to the past to influence the fate of the 4 champions in order to assemble them in the future to save the world. I love strategy games. Trey, any thoughts on Fire Emblem? I'm so behind on Fire Emblem games, as in I am in gaming life in general. But any thoughts, buddy?
Fun thing is that you don't need to have played any of the other games to get into this, which is nice. I think that you would really. I don't know if I would. Strategy games have never really gelled with me. I've played a little bit of XCOM and a little bit of Clash of Clans, but that's about it. But I think that this game looks so good that I'm almost tempted to try it, even though I probably won't be any good at it.
Yeah, Fire Emblem is one of Nintendo's best growing. Like, I don't want to say that it ever went away, but they've really turned like it around from a business franchise perspective. I would even predict without pushing the prediction time button because I don't know where it's at. Prediction time that the Fire Emblem will eventually be like a movie or an animated something along those lines as they continue the Nintendo Mario verse. And I do hope that they do make it a Nintendo Mario verse because of the fact that I like that they crossed Star Fox into Mario in the Odyssey movie, but That's just me.
I do have to.
I think Nintendo's making a lot of good moves.
I do have to ask now. I might have to look this up. I wouldn't say a movie, but I could definitely see an anime.
Oh yeah, 100%. I would agree with that. That would be good. Well, as
Yeah,
you all know, oh, go ahead, Trey.
So I was going to say, I just don't know if they have one already. I have think
Well,
they
that's
might.
what after you said that, I was thinking that I was like, maybe they do, and we don't know about it. And later on, someone's gonna be like, when I said Ong instead of Aang, and everybody I know is gonna be like, there is a Fire Emblem anime, you jackass.
At least you won't be the only one this time.
I don't know what we're doing here. All right. Sam Neill, the late Sam Neill from Jurassic Park, has one last movie up his sleeve or roll up his sleeve. It looks like Sam Neill is in the Zelda movie, but he's not going to be playing Ganondorf, which I don't know why anybody thought that he would be playing Ganondorf. That was not the first thing that I thought of when I saw that Sam Neill was going to be in Zelda. The Legend of Zelda movie has only really had two actors attached to it for several months, with Benjamin Evan Ainsworth and Bo Bragasson known to be starring as Link and Zelda, respectively. Now, however, we have actors confirmed for Ganondorf and Impa, and reports the late Sam Neill is also part of the film. Deadline reports that young rock actor Yuli Latukafu, I'm so sorry I'm pronouncing your name incorrectly, is playing serious antagonist Ganondorf, though we have yet to see him in costume like we have Ainsworth and Bragasson. Severance actor Deacon Lockman has been confirmed to play Zelda's chic bodyguard Impa, which could be that's Impa, which fans have speculated about for months after the actor appeared in leaked photos. Two actors who are also in the movie with roles that are as of yet unknown are Dexter and Mass Effect actor Yvonne Sarhovsky and Sam Neill. Deadline doesn't have names for the characters the two will play, but Sarhovsky is supposedly playing a queen of some kind. The Legend of Zelda will be one of Neil's final on-screen performances following the Jurassic Park star's death last month. I have no idea who would be playing it. I can't even remember all the characters that are in that. If there's some wise old character in it, that would be my guess as who he's playing.
Yeah, I'm so bad with actors. I am going to watch this though. Are you going to watch it?
The Legend of Zelda?
Yeah.
Yeah, if I can watch through all the 9,000 other things that we have to watch for anything that we're doing in the world. Yeah, I don't have a problem with. I'm not like I don't know. I go back and forth on Zelda stuff. Like I'm not huge. Like I like Zelda. Like I'll play it. Like I would like to play them. I played, the Ocarina of Time and so forth. But I mean, I'll watch it. Like I'm excited for it. I think it's cool. I think what everything that Nintendo's doing right now is just really on point in my opinion.
You think so?
For the most part, other than not having any, like for what they're doing with their, I guess what I should say, for what they're doing with their film aspect of it and getting into that realm and taking some of these franchises and bringing them to the screen and expanding expanding into entertainment past the console, I think that they're doing a good job.
Yeah,
I
could
like
definitely
to see a freaking handheld freaking game again. Like I'd like a Game Boy again or a DS or something. Like I get like we don't have handheld gaming anymore. Like really, I mean, we have like the Steam Deck. It's this big. You can't put it in your back pocket. Like we have the ROG Ally X or whatever it is. We can't put it in our back pocket. The Switch Minis were the closest things, but that's what I'm saying. Like someone needs to either do something interesting with foldable technology, or we need to have a fun Game Boy thing again. That's just my opinion. Maybe I'm old. I'm old. That's what it is. I'm old.
I think that having something small would be kind of cool as well, especially because you can pack a lot onto that. I think we've talked about. No, I talked to this to Joey about this. If Nintendo doesn't want, I think we were talking about companies coming out with handhelds that have a bunch of Nintendo ROMs on them, and I said if Nintendo doesn't want their stuff pirated, come out with something that lets you play it. I was talking about if they put out a Game Boy Classic or a Game Boy Advance Classic that folds out and sold it for like 75 to $100, it would go gangbusters.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. They need to have. There has to be a handheld gaming marketplace. I just and the way in which we have it now, I just don't think it's. I don't know. I think that we're missing out. I think that everybody's missing out on that. And I've heard rumors from multiple sources that some of the console companies are working on those types of things. I just don't think that they've I don't think that they've just finalized it. And I feel like we're missing out on foldable glass technology. I'm also gonna say that. Like, because you could literally make all of your Game Boy game, like you could take the concept of the fold or the what's the other one, the one that folds this way. There's one that folds this way and the one that the flip, I don't know, the flip, I think it is. You could make a flip style portable gaming console that has all of the buttons. You could even do it even if you didn't want to use the glass as the buttons, right? You could put a controlling thingy there, then still have the glass that folds. And I don't, someone has to be able to think of something like that with the way that we have technology. I don't know.
I'm going to send
all of the people. Oh, go ahead, Trey.
So it's not the same, but I think that there's something that you would really like. It's iPhone only, unfortunately. Actually, no, it works on Android too. MCon. I'm going to send it to you because I think you would love it, even though it's smartphone gaming.
That's me slapping you. I'm trying to find all the characters. Okay, hold on. List of Legend, because isn't the Legend of Zelda game based off of Ocarina of Time, or is it just is the Legend of Zelda show is it based off of Ocarina of Time? I can't remember. I'm assuming it is because I was shaking it.
I think it is. I don't know. I've heard that it's kind of based off of the Wild Era games, which also had an Impa in it.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if it had Sheik in it though, so it could be.
Okay, I'm looking. You think maybe he plays the horse? It was a joke. He's got to play one of the sages. That would be my. We have here. Look, here's all the sages: Kapora, Kibora, Soria, Thorunya, Princess Ruto, Impa, Naburu. I'm assuming, or maybe he plays the Great Deku Tree.
That would be fun.
I don't know. He's got to play some like wisdom style character. I don't know. I'm moving on.
Yeah, I'm horrible with actors, man.
All right, Developer Digital wants to go private again following a 95% collapse in its share price. It seemed like an odd decision at the time when indie publisher developer announced it was going to launch an IPO, listing itself on the London Stock Exchange alternative investment market in 2021, valued at $950 million. Developer CEO Douglas Moran said, at the time, an IPO is the right choice for us to ensure our continued growth and support even more wonderful games. It looks like the developer intends to delist and become a private company once more because the global video game industry has undergone a period of significant disruption and volatility. It also happens to be the case that the company's shares are currently valued at just 44.6 million, a colossal 95.3% wipeout. In a statement posted to investors on August 6th, Devolver laid out its plan to get delisted from the UK-based stock exchange, as well as a proposed return of capital of up to $5 million of cash to qualifying shareholders and holders of depository interest by way of a tender offer, subject to approval by shareholders. This is a different type of language for a company that is best known for its outlandish stunts, maverick advertising campaigns, and a deliberately offensive fictional CFO spokesperson in the form of Fork Parker. That doesn't sound like this company did a good job being a publicly traded company. Trey, what games did they make? Do you know?
I think it says in this show, but in this article, but I cannot remember what they were.
That's why I'm just gonna go to the website.
Yeah. I have a bit of a hot take on this one too. I know that's been happening a lot lately.
We should have a hot take theme song. It should be the same as the prediction time theme song, but we say hot take, hot take. I don't know, something like that, or maybe like. All right, it looks like Dark Scrolls, Minyo, Star Seeker, Astroneer Expedition. I don't know. Unless you have a really. The problem with video game development is you have to have a really strong publisher that you either have a partnership with or the publisher owns the development house.
So I think that before recently, these guys were partnered up with Xbox. I could be
Well,
wrong on that front.
what's your hot take?
My hot take is I think that this is going to start happening more and more frequently, because I think that not everybody, because I have a lot of respect for a lot of investors, but I think of a lot of investors with their drive to see the numbers go burr uh, are ruining a lot of companies' relationships with their customers. So I think that this will become a little bit more common, and I think that's also part of the reason why EA went private.
Well, yeah, that's one of the reasons why EA went private, and I think that was from an EI perspective. I think that was a smart move on EI, and as far as the company that's behind what they're doing, I think that which is Jared Kushner's company and another investment company, excuse me, another investment company. I think that was a good move, and I think that I really think that they're going to have a home run with their self advertising platform in the gaming space with EA. I think that that's one of the most innovative ways, and I also hope that we see that in some other capacity. But I understand from your perspective, Trey, that might be difficult vis-a-vis depending on the video game itself, and then we're just going to be berated with ads like we are on social media now, which makes everybody angry. So I understand that, but I think that that's a good point. I also think that a lot of these companies are going to go back to being private. A lot of the reasons why you go public in the first place is from a liquidity purpose, so you can have a bunch of money to get you to the next stage, and then you can continue to grow, and it can go on to perpetuity. The founders can be divest out of it. The founders can move on with their lives or whatever. In this case, it looks like they just went public, and then it went to shit, and they weren't able to change, I guess, what it is that they needed to do to make money, I guess. I don't know.
I
I mean, it seems like what changed in the gaming space that caused them for them to erode that way. That's what I'm confused about.
So the way I understand it is they're still doing okay for an indie studio. They're just not, from what I understand, they're not getting rewarded the way they think they should for the amount of money that they make. Because
Oh, because of the market, because of it. I see what you're saying. So from an indie developer standpoint, they're doing really really well, right? But from publicly traded company and what's required of them from that, based off of a shareholder and a share price and earnings per share, it's not up to par with that. In which case, it does probably make sense for them to go private again.
yep, that was it.
Yeah. All right, Trey. Well, we actually this was a lighter week for articles.
Yeah, there wasn't a lot. I mean, yeah, there really wasn't a lot that I could find to put on here. It was a pretty light week, which is good
Yeah.
because as soon as next month comes, all hell is going to break loose.
I also lied. I have more articles. They were just got mixed up. We have more. Well, then,
Oh,
yeah, we do have more. I don't. I can't. I don't know what happened. I got confused. My body got confused. We have this. I don't know if I'm going to be seeing Spider-Man tonight. Joey went and saw Spider-Man. Joey, if you're still there with Spider-Man, good. Did you like it? Did you hate it? I don't know. BMW though, car dashboards blasted with Spider-Man. Brand new day pop-ups because if there's a screen, someone will force ads onto it. Look at that. Look at that beautiful BMW advertisement right there. Look at that product placement. That's beautiful. Disney and Sony's latest entry into the Marvel Cinematic Universe, Spider-Man Brand New Day, came very close to earning a whopping $1 billion at the box office in its opening weekend, and that was yesterday's news. So there's a very high chance it's crossed the billion mark by now. What could have helped the new MCU flick rake in those kinds of numbers so quickly? Do people truly just love Spider-Man that much? I know that I don't. I hate Spider-Man traditionally. Or did Tom Holland and John Bernthal appearing on Hot Ones push it over the edge? Or just maybe, is it the ads for Spider-Man Brand New Day that have been popping up on BMW owners' dashboards? That's actually a pretty good, seems dangerous, but also a pretty good idea. As spotted by the Autopian via TechSpot, BMW owners are being offered a surprise in the form of a new Spider-Man Brand New Day commercial in their cars. And quite understandably, the folks over on the R BMW subreddit aren't very happy that they're getting hit by advertisement pop-ups in their $60,000 cars. The icing on the cake here is that BMW Group Senior VP Stephen Durock previously stated in late 2023 the company definitely would never put ads in its cars. He says here BMW owners didn't pay six figures to watch ads. BMWs are criticizing the automaker after a full-screen Spider-Man brand new ad reportedly appeared on the dashboard's display. Hold on, I'm gonna watch it. Does it are you driving?
I know the whole idea of connected cars is really appealing for manufacturers, but this is crossing the line. This popped up in the car today, an ad for Spider-Man. And of course, the new BMW.
Well, is that really a Spider-Man ad or is that a BMW ad?
I really don't think that's cool. What's your thoughts on it?
All right. Well, I personally think that it's very cool. And I don't know. I'm hard pressed to say that that's an advertisement for Spider-Man.
It could be for BMW. So here's I'm sorry, I'm gonna jump in again. Is that okay?
Yes, that's the point of the show. Hold on.
Okay.
Wait, hold on, I gotta slap you for this. Go ahead, Trey.
Keep your finger on that slap button. I think we might be using it.
All right, cool. Let's de-slap the S out of these people. Go ahead, Trey.
Okay, so ads are fantastic if you are providing a service that is requiring some sort of back end that is like having some sort of monitoring, or if that's your only way of monetizing. Yeah. Cars are hardware. Cars are not a service. They never should be a service. When you go to a dealership, you don't go to a dealership to rent a car. You do not go to a dealership to lease. Well, sometimes you do lease a car, but you get my point. You're not getting access to the car with your purchase. You are owning that car is now yours. Now you can do a whole bunch of stuff.
There's no reason for them to need the revenue because the revenue was the purchasing of the car in the first effing place.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that. I thought that they were driving along and then a video of Spider-Man Brand New Day popped up to advertise to them. But it looks like what this is, it's an ad, which I get your point of the advertisement, but they have Spider-Man on there, so it seems like Spider-Man Brand New Day. But then when you open up the advertisement, it's really an advertisement for the BMW that they're showing off is really what they're advertising. But then it's in reference and in a partnership with Spider-Man Brand New Day. I personally think that that's kind of cool, but I do see where you're saying that if you've already bought the service, then why are there ads in it? Which is my argument with a paid subscription. If I'm paying for a subscription, then I'm also getting ads and then have to pay more for the ads to go away. Anyway,
it would be different. Oh, sorry.
I get your point, Trey.
Yeah, I think that if it was something where like it's the brand new maps navigation and it is more exact than anything else out there that you can get on your phone, and it has all these bells and whistles and you're getting it for free, but you have to watch an ad when your car starts up, and it's opt-in, great, do that. If it's not, nope. Sorry for going off.
No, you should go at. We'll give them a little D flat. Well, what other sounds are in here? We could do let's see. We could do, I don't want to do a gunshot. I feel like that's too violent. There's a fountain. Oh, we could do this one. Hold on. We'll add this one to our sound effects. I did it. It's called Slide Long.
It reminds me of. Sorry.
You're getting a Mercury citation from Trey, BMW. We should just randomly call people at these companies when we cite them and say, "This is Jeremy with Mercury. You've been cited." And then just hang up on them and they're like, "What the hell's going on?" They'll have no idea what's happening.
That's funny.
All right, well, this is a fun little thing. Celebration. Xbox pushes forward with FanFest celebration even after laying off the guy who created it. But, I mean, that's how corporations work. Xbox will unfortunately be celebrating 25 years. Kotaku, is it Kotaku? Kotaku has some of the weirdest journalists in it. It's like every journalist piece is an opinion piece. Like I feel like Kotaku never just does news. They do news as a reference point for their opinion on it. Xbox will unfortunately be celebrating 25 years of play without the employee who created Xbox FanFest this year. Back in March, Xbox CEO Aisha Sharma announced that Xbox FanFest, originally conceptualized by Chris, Xbox FanFest guy, Munson, would return later this year. In July, Sharma announced that 3,200 Xbox employees would lose their jobs. We're coming after you, Xbox. One of those 3,200 employees was Chris Munson. As spotted in Eurogamer, the company still plans to move ahead with Xbox FanFest this year, even though the guy who helped create it won't be there to help. On August 3rd, a new Xbox Wire blog post went live titled Celebrating 25 Years of Play, in which Team Xbox announced 6 new 2026 tour dates for Xbox FanFest across 6 different countries. The Xbox FanFest Tour is a global multi-city run of fan-first events built around connection, local community, and the games we love. Reads the blog post alongside the dates for tours in Tokyo, London, Mexico City, Sydney, and Toronto. We kicked things off in Los Angeles at the Xbox Game Showcase. Told you we were headed to Gamescom next, and today we're sharing the rest of those stops. Back in March, when Asha Sharma originally announced that Xbox FanFest would return, Xbox CEO stated that she'd heard clearly that our community values Xbox FanFest. As part of the return of Xbox, they made the decision to bring it back to LA to recognize the players who've been with us over the years. Trey, here's my problem with this. Essentially, they laid off a bunch of people because they didn't have money, and then they took that money and then they did FanFest with it. Rather than not having FanFest and not laying off people is what it sounds like happened to me.
So I disagree with this. I actually think that it's important for them to have their parties and stuff like that. It's a really good advertising potential for them. I think that what it probably costs for these events is probably something that is covered by probably 10 employees. I think that the money thing is very big. I think that Xbox, and I think that the layoff thing was less of a monetary thing, because I think there was an article we read about this, and more of a company structure thing, because at one point there was 14 levels of managers in a project, if I remember correctly.
Microsoft became very bloated, and that's the problem when you get a bunch of money. when you start having a bunch of money coming in or the economy's booming, you decide to make decisions that expand the departments that you're in. And then when you realize maybe we don't need all of these departments, or then things start to pull back in the economy, or you think that is, then you start to set yourself up for the future of the economy pulling back. And I think that that's what Xbox is doing. I think that the lens on it, though, is kind of shitty from the perspective of people that are watching in the news, where, okay, you're going to lay off all these people, but then you're going to do this tour. Now, you're probably right for the cost of it. Yes, I understand that piece of it. And they should do these things for the Xbox and for the community themselves. It just sucks that, that they did also have to do layoffs. And again, the layoffs weren't directly related to the fan fest. My point was that from the lens of it, it's bad PR.
Oh, I can completely see your point there. Yeah, I did not see it. I didn't quite get what you meant. Now I do.
Yeah, that's more of what I was getting at. That it wasn't that they laid the people off so they could do the fan fest. I agree with you that those two things are unrelated. What I'm saying is, from a lens perspective, it's shitty that in one area you have this thing that's not happening. So then you see a news where people are getting laid off, and then a thing that wasn't happening is now happening, right? Which is what Kotaku was trying to make as kind of like their opinion point on it, that this wasn't going to happen. These people got laid off, and now this thing is going to happen, right? Without directly saying it. At least that's what I understood from it.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. An abandoned 3-story manga library in Japan. Oh my God, Trey, we have to buy it. And comes with thousands of manga dating back to the 90s. For most people, real estate is an investment, but sometimes a building goes on the market that is more than meets the eye. Maybe it was used to film an iconic movie scene or was the birthplace of someone famous. In the case of the building currently for sale in Japan, it is a former manga library that is still filled with thousands of vintage comics and magazines, including decades-old copies of Weekly Shonen Jump. The former manga library is in Sakata, Japan, was listed for sale earlier this year and is going for the surprising low price of $11,750. Oh my God, Trey, we have to buy it. Oh my gosh, I'll pony up the $11,000. However,
That's
the interesting thing here, well, there's got to be a catch to this in some capacity. However, the interesting thing here isn't the structure itself. It's the fact that there are thousands of copies of vintage manga still on the bookshelves, many dating back to the 90s when the library was in full use. As pointed out by YouTuber Yusuke Yoshikawa, who covers unusual real estate finds. That's actually a really cool niche market. We should go look at this guy up on YouTube. I'm going to make a note of this guy. Where's my note maker? Trey, I feel like with all the technology, I guess there's sticky notes on my computer. Sticky notes. It's like an app.
I would put it on my notes, but so it's funny because when I had craft up last week, I ended up accidentally turning on dictation.
We have Yusuke Yoshikawa. What a beautiful name. YouTube. Okay, well, that's a pretty cool niche. Finds unusual real estate.
That is pretty
cool. The property
cool.
has captured the imagination of people both for the low price and for the novelty of such a unique building. While there are certainly significant risks, there's also something romantic about it. And the person that wrote this article was happy to see many responses that reflected that romance. Oh, that was the YouTuber that said that. The risk Yoshikawa mentioned are around the building itself, which has been neglected for several years and was almost certainly in dire need of either serious repairs or complete demolition. However, the comments on Yoshikawa's post about the property include stories from local residents about the building being a haven for young kids in the 90s. Despite likely being a terrible financial investment, this long-abandoned manga library is a beloved part of the local area. It's not a terrible investment. It's $11,000.
Just about to say at $11,000.
If you're in the real estate business or you're in anybody that has any investment experience, yes, from an investment experience of the thing, but if you're only going to pay $11,000 for a historical piece of things from the 90s and has vintage things inside of it, and you could keep it going, I would hands down find someone in Japan, get a contract going. Atoshi, where's Atoshi at? He speaks Japanese. We'll get Atoshi to go scope this out. We'll get Atoshi to scope this thing out. And then in fact, I'll pull up a video. I'll pull up Atoshi so people can see who I'm talking about here. Trey, I mean, what are your thoughts on this? This doesn't seem like, I think someone should buy this up easily.
the books themselves for archival are worth the price.
Correct.
I
You
would
could go ahead, Trey.
I would hazard a guess though that they probably, and I think that this is something that Japan probably does now because they've had housing problems in the 90s, but I would guess that it's only available for people who are living in Japan. That would be my
Also,
guess.
some of the
If
city.
it's not
Never
already
mind.
sold.
I had a horrible joke, but I'm not going to
What
say
were
it
you thinking I was going to say?
No, not about what you were going to say. I had a horrible joke about housing in Japan in a different period of time, but never mind. It was a tasteless joke about horrific things that happened to the Japanese community that Americans should be
I see
ashamed
now.
of. Okay, hold on. I gotta find Yoshiki Kawa manga library. Okay, hold on. Let's see if I can find this. I can't find library for sale in Japan. I can't find this on this guy's. I
I
can't
wonder if
find
that
it.
was a.
I found him. Well, no, I don't even think I found him. I found Japanese stuff and what looks like dirty anime stuff. I don't know. We should look into this more. But anyways, I was gonna pull up Atoshi. I'm gonna pull up Atoshi for fun. Trey, what else do you think though about this?
I think this is really cool. I think that if it was me, I would want to keep this available for generations at a time. So I would take it and I would get all of the books and keep them out of the damp for a while, like put them in plastic wrap, and then the building's gone. If it's that bad, the building's gone. Build up a new library and put the manga in there and have people be able to come and see it for 10 to 100 yen or whatever. I think this is so cool. I love when stuff like this comes up.
Yeah, no, this is a really good one. But all we need to do though is it.
Oh, Jeremy's gone. Oh no. perhaps his his drivers aren't working. Oh, that's unfortunate. Okay, so um, this is awesome. I did want to bring up here. Give me just a moment. Here we go. Joey says that Spider-Man. Oh, are you back? You're back. Yay! He's back. I thought he was back. Where'd he go? um. So the movie was pretty. Oh, here he is. Awesome.
Something's happening.
I can hear you. Your camera's black, but I can hear you. There you are.
That wasn't from what I was saying before. There wasn't a disconnection. StreamYard just stopped it just turned my microphone and camera off. Like the camera didn't shut off, it just disconnected me. But like nothing else happened on my computer. Everything else is working fine.
That's weird.
All right, if everybody too could go and follow this Chinese Japanese man, Atoshi.
Here's a marketing trend they don't tell you. And it's how brands are chasing over engagement over reach. For years, marketers set for millions of views, but now more brands are realizing that each audience often delivers better results.
What's his username for future reference, Jeremy?
This is adspace_AOR. So we're working on growing our niche inside of the understanding of advertising across these, and Atoshi's helping make some of those videos as of right now. This was one of my favorite ones that he did.
Professional ad blockers now. Basically skipping every ad we see. It's almost as if we install an ad block in our brain. Truth is, whenever someone tries to interrupt us, the less we actually pay attention. I'm sure you all can agree. But here's the weird part. People will actually listen to someone talk about something for 2 whole minutes. And honestly, not really mad about it because when someone tells you something on the podcast, it almost feels like a friend telling you. And that's trust. So brands keep asking, how do we get more attention? But really, the real question is, how do we gain more trust? Sounds more authentic. And there lies the future of advertising. It's more about trust, about building a connection without sounding too fancy or flashy. That's why podcasts always win.
That was a good one. That was a good one. I was proud of that one that he did. But if you guys can go and support us at AdSpace_Age of Radio, we're working on increasing our newsletter for AdSpace as well. So if you're interested in understanding how audio numbers work and metrics such as Edison and some of the other metrics, we just started this one out the gate. So I'd love for you guys to go and follow. Appreciate that as well. And you can also follow us at Age of Radioverse, which is our main Instagram channel. But more importantly, Hitoshi's Japanese/Chinese/Chinese/Japanese, and he can speak Japanese, so he can go out and try to get us the $11,000 real estate manga. Even if you bought the manga and we just brought that home to the, I mean, I would hate to take it out of Japan. Like, I would want it to continue being a library there. You know what I mean?
I would agree with that. Yeah.
So, because I'm not interested in that. I'm just interested in buying cool stuff and having it continue. But, all right, Trey, well, that brings us to the end of the show. It's 5:06. Do you know where your children are at, Trey?
Yes, thankfully I don't have any.
Thankfully. Man. All right, Trey, you'd be a good dad. Let me know what your calls to actions are, what you have going on for the rest of the week, and we'll close this bad boy out, sir.
Awesome. So I don't have any content coming. I'm working on Scriptate. I'm still working on my accessible Xcode extension, and then I will move that to other stuff. I'm thinking about building an accessibility. That's not for here. I'll talk about that later. So if you guys are interested in my Substack, it's creatortray.substack.com. You can find me on just about any other social media, as little as I post, at creatortray. Now back to you, Jeremy.
Thank you so much, Trey. I love doing these with you. Again, my name is Jeremy. You can follow me everywhere at Age of Jeremy. Make sure that you like and subscribe to this show if you're watching it on our YouTube, Age of Radio, or sorry, Mercury by Age of Radio. It's a show for podcasting and pop culture. We're going to continue to grow it. We're up to 124 subscribers on that YouTube channel. Thank you so much for everybody that subscribes. If you could share it with a friend so that we can get in front of more people. We have a lot of great content in store to bring you in the podcasting and pop culture space. Love for you to join our Addicted to Podcasting newsletter. If you go on over to ageofradio.com, you can sign up for that. We give updates throughout the month on everything from around podcasting in general. And then also about Age of Radio news. It's a mixture of both, so don't think that we're just going to be berating you with this. We want you to be involved with the podcasting space in general, so join that as well. And then if you're really into audio metrics and audio advertising and advertising on podcasts, you can subscribe to our AdSpace newsletter. We're going to be working on a whole line of newsletters for Age of Radio as we move forward. We have a lot of great stuff in store. And if you have a podcast and you want to be a part of the Age of Radio podcast network, the Free for Everyone network to help you distribute, grow, and monetize your show, reach out to us at ageofradio.com. We'd love to have a conversation with you. And I also do a webinar. You can get access to sign up and register for that webinar. It's every other week on Saturdays at 10 a.m. We may adjust that time based off of people's availability to come to it. But we have a lot of stuff in store for not only Age of Radio, but also for Mercury. And as I always say, be thankful, grateful, and kind. And we'll talk with you soon. Bye.